everybody, and welcome to another episode of Connect with KB. It is so great to have you tuning in as we talk about business and education, leadership, and all the wonderful things that connect us to each other. I want to talk a little bit today about a company that I've invited to be on, ThermoAnalytics, and they are an employee-owned company with headquarters in Michigan up in the scenic Upper Peninsula. Great time of year to be up there. ThermoAnalytics is a leading developer of thermal, fluid flow, and infrared modeling software. ThermoAnalytics software products and services help engineers and organizations worldwide to optimize product concepts early in the design process, enabling them to significantly improve product quality while reducing product development time and cost. I want to welcome to the podcast Craig Makens. Craig is the, I lost it here on my sheet. Craig, my apologies. I think you're Vice President of Business Development. Isn't that correct?
That is correct.
You bet.
Thank you so much, Kristin.
Absolutely. Great to have you with me this morning. I apologize for that. I got a lot of papers here in front of me, and I lost that title for just a second. But I want you to tell the listeners the ThermoAnalytics story.
Yeah, absolutely. So ThermoAnalytics was founded back in 1996. It was actually a spin-off from Michigan Tech University here up in Houghton. And a group of 8 engineers that had started the company and doing a lot of business with the Department of Defense and developing some simulation software tools. And around that time, had started working with Chrysler and Ford and looking at how to apply thermal simulation software technologies into the design of vehicles. And so as kind of that little seed got started of turning that technology they'd been working in and developing it to a commercial software code that can be sold. So that original group jumped and started up ThermoAnalytics. Definitely, like a lot of startups, had that garage band feel and everybody doing everything. And went through some nice growth years. And then the company in 2002 became an employee stock ownership plan, or an ESOP. And that really is kind of the heart of the company here. It's a very family-oriented culture. Groups that really want to collaborate together and work together. People that work tightly and really care deeply about solving problems and helping customers out. So,
well, you're just I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, obviously the company is doing something right. You've celebrated your 25th anniversary. Tell the listeners a little bit about the services and how things maybe have shifted and how you've adapted over that 25 years, probably specifically during COVID, but talk a little bit about the changes.
Yeah, no, as you kind of hit that question right on. So that original vision of taking that simulation software is a need that crosses, whether it's automotive or aerospace, all of the industries, of trying to take what had traditionally been a physical testing process and convert that into a virtual process that both can be done in much faster time and at much lower cost. And ultimately with the goal of reducing warranty or design issues. And so, as at ThermoAnalytics, today we work with almost every major automotive manufacturer in the world. So almost every vehicle on the road is designed with our software as part of their thermal simulation process. And we also work that same type of approach into the aerospace sector. And that's used by both suppliers as well as the OEMs themselves, looking at thermal designs, whether it's for a cabin, like maybe looking at the insulation the same way you would in a building, and kind of the trade-offs between weight and cost and how to keep passengers comfortable during transient flight cycles, or looking at engine thermal issues. And then we also extend that out into the defense space, where we can look at things like how an infrared sensor or an infrared camera views the world, and be able to simulate that and be able to teach a computer through using algorithms, how it can recognize different situations.
Well, technology has changed so much, and staying on top of that, I suspect that, in your tenure there, which has been 20 plus years, you've seen just considerable amount of change in the technology.
Yeah, that's for sure. One of the big areas we work in today is something I don't know if we would have really dreamed of when the company got started. But we started work with the Air Force about more than 15 years ago on simulating of a human thermal model. So being able to replicate in this virtual world how a human sweats or shivers, and the effects of wearing clothing and activity and all of those different things, in order to then be able to look at the impact of different situations on a human. And so I'm sorry, go ahead, Kristin.
Well, I was just going to say, wow, really kind of explain that out a little bit and what exactly that means.
Yeah, so the human model is used for kind of two different activities. One is looking at comfort. So that's from a design perspective, whether it's a plane or a car. What types of trade-offs should I make in the environmental control system or the HVAC system that will improve the passenger comfort? And today, there's lots of technologies that are being investigated for trying to get localized comfort, things like heated or cooled seats or steering wheels on a vehicle, or trying to use indirect airflow. And so all these things are then used as a trade-off to try and figure out what's the best combinations of technologies. And so on the comfort space is kind of one area, and then there's more extreme conditions. Something like a pilot, looking at a pilot in an aircraft and what would happen if the environmental control system failed, and will the pilot, under extreme temperature conditions, be able to get the plane safely down? And so we want to be able to simulate that in both types of use cases. And we've got one other area that we're extending that to is actually into outer space. And we've just gotten a new project with NASA that will be taking our human thermal model and combining it with virtual models of whether it's a space station or a spacecraft, and looking at crew-induced loads. So that is basically how the humans are going to be interacting within that cabin over long-duration missions, whether that's going to the moon or Mars.
Well, you talk about not only the comfort, but the safety must be key for you as well. And, when you watch a lot of these different shows and documentaries and that kind of thing, do you see that process? I mean, is your company involved even up to, the delivery and then the launch as well? Do you get that involved in these things?
We don't get all the way. Generally, our technology is getting employed in the design phase when they're evaluating control systems. So we're not being used right in the launch phase, but we're helping set the boundaries of the system and trying to figure out how to make those system design trade-offs. And so for like an aircraft, it would be involved in the certification process.
Right.
When the plane gets final approval from the FAA, or same type of situation for NASA.
Tell me a little bit about the biggest challenges then. Like, what are some of the biggest challenges that the aerospace industry, is facing now or in the next couple of months?
Yeah, boy, the list is long there, and it's certainly a fascinating time. With the volatility in the aircraft market, and rapid decrease in passengers, but rapid returns, and then of course in the space industry, kind of the opening up of commercialization
right.
provides great new opportunities and fantastic challenges as well. From the areas that we focus on, a lot of that's on the emerging technologies area that we work on with customers. And so, a couple of the big ones would be the startups and rise of electric propulsion systems on aircraft. Of course, that has lots of news in the automotive vehicle space, and the aerospace is likely to go through similar transformations over the next 10, 20, 30 years. And then the other side of that is people that are looking at these new advanced aerial mobility systems, kind of personalized aircrafts. And the challenges that makes of kind of putting the automotive and aerospace sector together almost.
Well, when you talk a little bit about these things and you talk about this commercialization, and obviously we just saw Jeff Bezos go up and come back down, and I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see more and more of that, and Richard Branson as well. And so, it's really kind of changing this in terms of when you talk about transportation for people. What are your thoughts on that, and how is that going to continue to grow?
Yeah, we see that being one of the the biggest growth sectors, and really it's pushing the aerospace sector into an area that they haven't been doing as much. That is more frequent designs. Today an aircraft might get designed every 20 years or something, and now we're talking much more like the automotive cycle, where you're designing every few years. So much shorter cycles, and the need to have that kind of personalized comfort, personalized systems is going to increase significantly.
Well, let's talk a little bit, too, about the Aerospace Industry Association itself. And I know that they are really an important tool advancing. Obviously, you guys have a great relationship with them. How is it really that they are changing kind of the game for aerospace in Michigan, and your role in that?
Yeah, can't speak enough about Tony Vernazzi and the Aerospace Association of Michigan. We joined in 2017. Has been a fantastic group to be part of, and Tony is such a great champion out in the marketplace, and really combining both the outward looking of being able to communicate the importance of the aerospace sector, whether it's from the legislative side or promoting it and connecting with universities. Has just done tremendous work. And then that building the network, there's such a strong automotive network in Michigan. And, the aerospace is almost kind of secondary. We don't have those same types of major trade shows and things like that are hosted here. So building up a network of aerospace companies and trying to help everyone, get talented employees, collaborate together on research. And we've actually had a number of successful projects working with other aerospace members, where they've gotten some great new technology evaluated, and we got some challenging work that has been a win-win for everyone.
Where do you see your company in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, so we the ESOP angle, we want to be an employee-owned company, and that's truly our vision, to be a growth ESOP company based out of Michigan, headquartered in Michigan. We've got an office down in Novi, and that continues to grow rapidly, and then our overseas offices as well. So we expect to be continuing to grow in the aerospace market with some of the opportunities around electrification, human-centric design, and then advanced controls using artificial intelligence and machine learning. And then we will be having additional partnerships with other major software companies, both in Michigan and around the world.
I also saw, Craig, that you are writing a little bit and have written about the future of thermal management. Is that something that you enjoy doing as well in terms of that kind of leadership?
It is. And it's. I will say our role at ThermoAnalytics, we want to be kind of a trusted advisor when we're working with customers, and so that means looking at forward-looking technologies, offering fair assessments, and being able to help customers implement technologies to make change at their organizations.
Well, you know what, Craig, our 15 minutes went by real quickly. I'm so glad you joined me today. I want to thank you for coming on.
Indeed. I can't thank you enough for the opportunity, Kristin.
You bet. Thanks so much. My guest today, Craig Makens, who's the VP of Business Development at ThermoAnalytics. I also want to thank our episode sponsor, Marketing Resource Group and the Aerospace Industry Association of Michigan, including my supporting sponsors, Downing Industries, Governmental Consultant Services, AF Group, AT&T, the Michigan Chamber of Commerce, and the Fraser Law Firm. You can listen to all my podcasts at connectwithkb.com. Until we connect again, go live your best life. I'm your host, Kristin Belzer.